Hello, I'm Miss Sue. I am so glad to be here this morning. How about you guys? I am here to present an activity about sink and float. Are you all ready for the day? I am. We have several items here that we're going to be doing. So who wants to guess which item sinks and which item go down sinks in the water and float above the water? Which one of you guys want to guess that? So let's see what we're going to do today, okay? And see how this activity goes. I need some volunteers right now to participate. I'm going to need everybody to raise their hand and be energetic about wanting to guess which one will go down under the water and which one will stay on top. So which one of you guys want to volunteer first? Oh, okay, I see your hand. Okay, well, let's start with the first item. We have a foam block. Do you think that this item is going to stay above the water or it's going to sink? What do you think? Tell me. Oh, okay, you think it's going to go below the water? It's going to sink? Well, let's find out. Here we go. Oh, look at that. It is floating. It did not go down. So here I have a paper here. Look at here, guys. This side says sink and this side says float. This one is floating. So what I'm going to do is write here that it's floating. Okay, I need another volunteer. Raise your hand. Okay, I see you, okay. The next item is a plastic ring. Do you think it's going to sink or do you think it's going to float? Oh, you think it's going to float? Okay, let's see. Are you watching? I want everybody watching. All eyes on me. There it goes. Oh, you're right. It's floating. Good job. Good job. So here we go. We got sink and we got float. So we're going to put float for this ring. Okay, I need another volunteer. I see 2 hands. Okay, I'm going to pick you because you was first, okay? So the next item we have here, remember these? Where do we use these at? Yeah, in the art center. This is for when we make our Play-Doh, right? So here we have a little boy. So we're going to see if it's sink or float. Do you think it's going to float or sink? You think it's going to sink? Okay, let's see. Here we go. Oh, you were right. Good job. So here we go again. We have to put it on either sink or float. So that one's sunk, so we're going to put it on sink. All right, we have a couple of more items here. I need some more volunteers. Oh, wait a minute. Don't come too close, okay? Everybody's going to get a turn, okay? I see you. I'll pick you right because you had your hand up first. So the next item is a number what? Can someone tell me? Number 7, you were right. Okay, we're going to see if the number 7 go in the water. Do you think it's going to float? Or do you think it's going to sink? You think it's going to float? Or let's see. No, I want to know why. Do you think it's going to float? Can somebody tell me why it would float? Okay, I see you. Because it's what? Because it's not heavy. Good job. And what else? Because it's light. Okay, well, let's see. Here we go. I'm going to drop it just like, oh, you were right. It is floating. Good job. Okay, here we go. We got a lot over here is on the float side. We need some that's going to sink. Okay, let's see. I have a good one. What is this one called? A rock? Yep. Is it big or little? Yeah, it's kind of in between. So let's see what it's going to do. Do you think it's going to float or do you think it's going to sink? I think it's going to sink because it's a rock. Because rocks are what? hard. That's right. Let's see. Went straight to the bottom. Good job. Good job. So we got one on the sink side, okay? All right. I see all your hands. Y'all getting very, very excited about this activity, I see. So I have an item here. What is this? Yeah, feather. But what do we do with the feather in the classroom? Yeah, we do artwork. That's true. We do that. Do you think it's going to sink or do you think it's going to float? I think it's going to float. Let's see. Yay, it did. It floated. So here we go. We put another one on the float side. Let's count how many more items we have. We have 1, count with me, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Who knows what this is? Yeah, it's an egg. Do you hear the music of the egg? Yeah, we use it in the music department. Do you think it's going to sink or do you think it's going to float? What does it have inside? It has something. Do you think it'll help it sink or float? I think it's going to float. Let's check it out. Wow, it floated. All right. So let's put that one on the float side. Let's count how many floats we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good job. Let's see how many we got on the sink side. We only have 1, 2. Good job. All right. Let me have another volunteer. I'll pick you, okay? All right. The next one we got comparison. We're going to compare a big scissor against the small scissor. Do you think the big scissor will sink and the small scissor float? Or both of them will sink? Or both of them will float? Which one do you think? Put on your thinking caps. Oh, okay. You think the big one will sink and the small one will float? Let's find out. Here we go. There goes the big one. Went to the bottom. Good job. What about the small one? You think it'll sink or float? You think it'll float? Let's see. Well, it's down at the bottom and then it's floating too. So we got the big one. It's sinked. And we're going to put the small one on both sides because one side is floating and the other side is tilted up. So that's sinking and floating. So we put it on both sides. All right. The next one we have is a dinosaur. And a what? Baby dinosaur. That's right. So we're going to see. It's comparing. Why are we comparing? What does that mean? Can you tell me what comparing is? Oh, yes. Big and little. You're right. Good job. So let's see if the big one will sink or float. We'll put it down here first. It's floating. And you think this one going to sink or float? Why do you think it's going to float? Because it's small? Well, let's see. I went straight to the bottom. You were wrong. Okay, so we got one that sinked and one that float. I thought maybe the big one would sink, but it didn't. It's floating. That's interesting. Okay, so we can't go by the size. We have to go by the weight as well. So the next one, we have wood. Do you think the big one will float and the small one will float or sink? Oh, I see you. Do you think it'll float? Yes, we'll do this one first. Okay, let's find out. Oh, it's floating. Good job. Let's see what this one will do. I personally think this one will sink because it's big. That's right. Let's see. No, it's floating. I would not believe that would float. I thought maybe it would crash right down at the bottom. You too? Right. So we only have 3 more items. Let's count. 1. What is this? Pencil, yes. 2. Do you know what this is? Yeah, seashell. And 1 more. Who knows what this is? What do we do with this? Can you see? It's a paper clip. And what do we do with paper clips? That's right, we hold the papers together. So let's try the paper clip first, okay? Do you think it'll sink or float? Who wants to guess? I see you. Let's see what it'll do. It went straight to the bottom. It sunk. I wouldn't have guessed that. I thought that one was going to be on top of the water just floating along. So we got another one for sink. There we go. Oh, wow, this is pretty interesting. A lot of these I thought would float. Didn't. It went straight to the bottom. So let's do the pencil next. Who wants to be the volunteer? Okay, I got you. So what do you think? Sink or float? Float? Okay, let's see. There it goes. You're right. Good job. Good job. So we'll put that one on float. And we're going to count how many we got at the end. We got 1 more. And it's the seashell. Who wants to volunteer? Okay, I see you. Let's see what it'll do. Sink or float? Float? Okay, let's see. No, it went straight to the bottom. Okay, so we went sink on the seashell, and we get ready to count how many we have. So can you count with me? 1, that's right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 items floated. Let's count the ones that sinked. 1, I can't hear you. 2, good job. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have an even amount. We have 7 items that floated, and we have 7 items that sinked. Good job, boys and girls. That was a good activity we did today. Thank you for your cooperation.